Welcome to LIB show in Macau Museum of Art. This is for those of you who didn't manage to come and see it. Now I hope just our videos and small interviews will help you to understand the ideas behind. The first work, called Anything Is As It Is, and it's about luck and attitudes towards life. So this work called Left is Right and Right is Wrong. The gloves I cast it from the same company that cast the glass for the city lights of Charlie Chaplin, and he became a victim of the same type of simplifications when he was accused of being a leftist sympathizer. So this is about dividing the society on good guys and bad guys, left guys bad guys, and right guys bad guys, and so on. So you know, don't simplify. Life is complicated. So once Einstein said that real fuel for progress are greed, stupidity and fear. I add flaws. So this half of this rotating painting illustrates the all things that we messed up in 20th century. The other painting is called Battle of Macau. It's actually about two battles. One battle in 1625 made Macau to be a Venice of the East, and the other one, battle that was liberation of gambling that happened a few years ago, made Macau to be a capital of kitsch and bad taste. Art historians are thinking now how to call period of art that came after postmodernism, and how to call this from 90s to now. I think it's glam art. So this work is sort of anti-Tracy Emin, you know, neon glitz and chic and so on. So it's just black spray paint and scratch. Don't believe, don't be afraid, don't ask. So there were two paintings. One was commissioned that I couldn't do a lot of things. So I had a list of restrictions of what not to depict. So what I did, I put two paintings. On one I did what asked for, and the other I paint what I wanted to put on that painting, and I didn't manage to do it. So it's sort of, it's a cry for freedom of expression. In front of you is work called Bat. I forgot, it's Bat. I think it's Bat. So it's set up, mousetrap, and if you touch the bat, it will work. These three works are united in sort of in display. One called Adoration of Anarcho-Pacifism. So you see here, profit is everything, like sort of image of corporate capitalism. And here is Anarcho-Pacifist, peace loving. And they have like, it's sort of icon in invented temple where people worship Anarcho-Pacifism. The other one called Death in Venetia. So it's small collage work. It's like Death in Venice. You could see it here, but I put it like Death in Venetia. As well, they're touching some other issues, but it's all like a puzzle and labyrinth. So you have to find what is the real meaning of this work. This work called Freedom of Tongue and Release from Worry. I started this painting when I was reading History of the World in 5 Drinks, and I finished it when I was watching Red Obsession. So it's all about drinking, consuming alcohol, and so on. There was a vote for independence of Scotland. I did this work and I first exhibited in Shanghai, and I gave the name. The title was E meets W. Which stands for East meets West, better together. So a few years passed, and actually the meaning of the work quite changed, because now we are not talking about independence of Scotland, about Brexit, about whatever comes next, independence of America and so on. So now it's called E meets W, yeah, better together. I think we have to be better together. A friend of mine bought all antique shop, entire antique shop in India. So, and he said that he has one lion, temple lion, and he doesn't know what to do with this. So I had it in my studio for some time before I came with the idea to start a series called Bestiarium. I never regret it. So here I've started to work like in graffiti style. I started to work to illustrate the book called Bestiarium, 11th century manuscript. And I started with depicting some animals that are imagined animals that were like sort of inhabited the places unknown for man, like sort of in Prester John Kingdom, and then sort of in weirdly located India or whatever. And I came up to get into the celebrity world and culture. And so you could see that it's sort of layered narrative and conversation with the viewer on the subject of life and death and truth and search for truth. One of you will betray me. The word called one of you. One of you will betray me, it's line of Jesus Christ at Last Supper. So this is simple display box. When I started to work on it, it was not actually new technology, sort of. But now it's display box for luxurious items. So my idea was to interfere in a commercial world, consuming society, and make a heavy, serious statement. Queen Victoria, decorated with cheap jewelry and stuff that I picked up near Harajuku station in Tokyo, become protector of teenage girls. You could pay attention to fingernails, eyelashes, and all these things. Bestiarium, Mikhail Bakunin. He was something like Karl Marx of anarchists. So in this sense, he's becomes victim of his own children. I was just trying to imagine like it was International Anarchist Congress in 1881 in London, and all anarchists got together in London, and the graffiti guys were going around and writing things, gluing the cigarettes, painting the glasses, and that's it. Rasputin from the same Bestiarium series. I just tried to make him to be sort of a discoteca version, in pink and with the eyes made out of crystal Swarovski. So every time you go around, it will blink at you. This series called Remake. I was inspired by a flood of fake DVDs in early 2000 and started to sketch something based on movie stills. You have here Italian landscape, Tuscany. Two young boys chasing two young girls, tourists. Looks like 60s movie, but the line here is from last Umberto Eco's interview. And it says, the beauty of the internet is that now anyone can demonstrate their own insignificance. This remake, based on John Ford's Stagecoach. I didn't do much, but instead of Stagecoach direction or whatever, I wrote Art Liberation Front. And I put the line from Matt Damon, the wrong people are in power and the wrong people are out of power. So like this, the line actually changed the meaning of the painting, or even still life, and brings it into the completely different realm. A Japanese crab is from somewhere in China, but it's somewhere in China. Bread are carved. These parts are bought in Tokyo. And now it looks like Pokemon, and I called it French Connection. Icon series. So the idea came like this is to to depict the, like, for example, football saints. Here is the miracle of San Cristiano. So there was a case when he elevated 80 centimeters to score the goal. So I put the sainthood on him and make an icon. So now people can come and pray. San Sebastian of Occupantia. It's another take, another angle on sainthood and iconography. And also from the East Mid-West series. So the touch, Eastern healthy touch to struggling, man under torture, brings some different angle to idea of the sainthood. This is another of my series. It's called E meets W. I will not explain what's going on here, but let's start with the most expensive wine bottle from Alicante. And this work called E meets W, same manor or house or chateau or whatever. You have samurai in the center of the room pointing on a piece of little something, and here is a little dog, the cause of the problem. Provocatio ad populum. This is real Birkin bag. I just tried to to put anti-consuming statement. Also on another side, if you can see, it's commodity fetishism. It's a quote or statement from Karl Marx's Capital. And here we have some funny personages. I don't think anyone will use it as a sort of status display item. The last dumpling. No, it was an illustration of something that happened in Hong Kong when I hand over Hong Kong. The executive around the table trying to get the last dumpling. So this work called The Ride. During Renaissance, there were excavation in Rome, and even Michelangelo was called to supervise some. So they found a lot of ancient sculptures, including Laocoon tree figures. And in fact, indirectly, it's triggered Renaissance. Michelangelo was so much inspired by it that most of his Sixtine Chapel figures are actually based on a few excavated sculptures. I just imagine that our period of time will be called fossil fuel civilization, and after some time, maybe somebody will excavate and will find this car, and he will think of us like we were giving a right to another civilization, classical, Roman and Greek. 100 years since Russian Revolution, and rejection of Fountain, the work of Duchamp. In fact, it's a parallel event, but it happened to go at the same tune. One marked the beginning of social genocide, and somehow, in parallel, it's happened to be a cultural genocide triggered by the beginning of anti-art. So we did some performance with a few friends of mine and about the subject, and called this work Cultural Barricade.